Now just like the hair, I'm going to put some sort of little texture here. Sometimes I'll go back and do this later, which I'll probably do up with the cheek over here. I'll show you how I go back and use the eraser to get more of a fur texture. You don't need to do a fur texture everywhere. That can look tacky depending on how you're doing it. It can come out really well if you know what you're doing. But if you don't, it's not going to look well. It's just going to look kind of messy and scribbly. Once again, cylinder going into more of a triangular shape with the paw, and then here's some circles. And the body's like a circle or a cylinder, so we're going to kind of go in there and do a curved shadow in like it would be a circle. Shading is all about figuring out where the light source would hit, where there are indents, and shapes. It's also important to note that your shadows are all going to be on one side, where your light source is going to be on the other side, because we're shading as if the light was hitting from here, not just random. More than one light source can get that kind of effect, but that's not recommended, even if it's done well, unless the light source is right there in the tag or pixel art. Even then, it's particularly difficult to get the effect of multiple light sources. So unless you know exactly what you're doing, or are experimenting, or have some talent with shadows, I can't do multiple light sources very well. I tried once, it didn't come out well. It did, but not as well as I would have liked. So see, once again, I'm kind of doing a bit of a fur. I usually do fur on the tails, in this case the mane, right here. I'm going to go and clean that up a bit. That line's a bit jagged. Yep, so I'm just going to kind of go in and clean some of these single line shading bits where it's just kind of a line. A lot of the texture is going to come through when we start doing the highlights. That's usually where I do a lot of my texture. Now coming in here, I'm going to show you quickly how I would make fur with something like, in here, I usually do fur here. I'm just going to go in and make little fur lines. And I'm just using the eraser tool and just going in and erasing what we already did. I'm not going to do it too much. It's a form of like dithering. Right here, I'm just going to do little circles. Now I don't like how much that is, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to just kind of make it a bit smaller and less obvious. I forgot to shade inside the ear here. It's another area where you're going to want to do like a fur. The inside of the ear right here is always going to be the darkest because there's fur being pushed in either way. So that's the first layer shading. I'm going to back out and make sure I like it. And I do. I think it came out rather well. So I'm going to stop again to save it, and then I'll come back and do a couple more layers of shading, highlights, and finishing touches.